One of the president's themes during the trip, uniting America and its allies around common goals, as you just heard. I spoke with the president's national security advisor about that before Air Force One took that historic journey to Israel to get H.R. McMaster's assessment of the key takeaways here and also a look ahead. General, thanks for the time.
Hey, thanks. It's great to be here with you.
You've seen the world reaction to the president's speech. You're leaving here. What's your assessment of this first stop?
Well, it's really been incredibly positive. What we're coming out of Saudi Arabia with is a common understanding of this threat that we face, that all civilized people face. And based on that common understanding, we're now ready to move forward with common action against terrorist organizations, against the people that finance them, and against that extremist ideology that lays a foundation for terrorists to draw on. So I think it's amazingly positive. The key will be the follow-up. Everybody understands that. And now we have the agreements in place that we need to move forward together.
David Axelrod, former senior advisor to President Obama, tweeted, "We must abandon human rights to fight terrorism. The lack of one helps fuel the other, and ignoring violations weakens the U.S. in the eyes of the world." Your reaction to that, and did the president bring up human rights in these private meetings?
Well, everything was about human rights. The entire trip is about human rights, about all civilized people coming together to fight the hatred, those who foment hatred, those who then try to justify violence against innocent people. So what can be more human rights than that? So you'll see this carry through the entire trip. You're going to see us talk about, the president really talk about human rights in Israel and the need for the Israelis and the Palestinians to come to an accommodation that removes the basis for violence there. He's going to go to Rome and then talk about the need for people of all religions to come together against this threat to all of our societies. And so the entire trip, you could say, is about human rights.
I guess he was specifically talking about the Saudis and the questions about their human rights. Was it brought up privately?
Well, I think what you have here is the beginning of an incredibly close relationship that can serve as a basis to move forward in a number of areas, including human rights. And if you look at the president's speech, there's a very clear passage in there about the Saudi commitment to move forward in this area, and this is what America is going to encourage. I mean, I think this is a very pragmatic view on the part of the president, but a view that's informed by our desire to advance human rights broadly.
Couple more things. You were the person who fought to change or soften the tone a little bit on the radical Islamic terrorism, and in exchange for Islamist extremism. The president, in the speech, used Islamic terrorism and asked about that. A senior official that was at a backgrounder said that he's just a, quote, exhausted guy. I emceed an event where the president was supposed to address the crowd at the end at this Tweeps event, and at the last minute sent Ivanka instead. Is the president okay?
No, I've never seen the president exhausted, actually. I think some of us get exhausted trying to keep pace with him. But if you look at the pace of this trip, it's unbelievable, right? And so the key on the phrase, what we call it, or what we mean, how our understanding, what is our understanding of this problem is more important than the label. But what the president understands and what he talked about through the whole speech is these are not Islamic people. These are not religious people. These are people who use a perverted interpretation of religion to advance their criminality, to advance a political agenda. And you saw great agreement on that in all the speeches yesterday. King Salman used almost the same language. And so the president listens to his fellow leaders and his partners and revises his understanding and then uses that understanding to drive us forward on a common agenda.
So he's not exhausted.
He's not exhausted.
All right.
Some of us wish he was exhausted.
You're heading to Israel, and there are some sticky issues. Your expectations?
I think our expectations are that the president is going to reach out to our greatest ally, to reassure our greatest ally of our unshakable bond to that alliance, and the unshakable bond with the Israeli people, but also to understand and help others understand that there must be a way forward on a solution for the Israeli-Palestinian issue, and to use that as a basis for also new partnerships in the region. And what you'll hear through the whole trip is really we all share common threats. We all share common opportunities. Let's work together, Israel, the Arab states, to help shape that future in a positive direction, to get off this path toward hatred and violence, get on the path toward peace and prosperity.
one of the sticky issues is the intel sharing controversy. Publicly, the Israelis are very supportive. Privately, there are serious concerns about that and what the president said to the Russians. How will you deal with that in the meetings in Israel?
Well, I think what you see is very strong confidence that has not been affected by any recent events or the news about recent events, and that's going to continue. The relationship that we've had for many, many years, and in recent years in particular.
John, well, we appreciate the time.
Thanks, Brett. Great to be with you.
Okay.
Thank you.